Twink Yao sighed and climbed on top of him, clinging to him desperately with his arms and legs. They nibbled each other's lips, but sexily, not at all like horses, and sucked each other's tongues as if they were thirsty and their tongues were coated with the nectar of the gods. Pi Feng Jun groped the perfect butt underneath his hand, squeezing it in his palms. "Oh, Pi Feng Jun," Twink Yao said, tossing his head back, exhilarated. Pi Feng Jun could restrain his lust no longer. He threw Twink Yao bodily on the bed, and standing at the foot of it, he stripped sensually, shaking his braids loose, letting his hair fall down his back, like this. Where am I? Twink Yao gasped, taking in the naked sight of his lover. Pi Feng Jun climbed regally on top of the bed. Caging Twink Yao with his form, he took hold of a thigh. Sorry if I'm not very good at this. Twink Yao thought at that moment that he would give anything to this man. He would not hold back. He would love him absolutely. Pi Feng Jun brought Twink Yao's tiny foot. Pi Feng Jun brought Twink Yao's tiny foot. Pi Feng Jun. Pi Feng Jun brought Twink Yao's tiny foot to his mouth and kissed it reverently, his tongue darting out to trace the line of Twink Yao's sensitive soul before his mouth devoured his tiny little twinkle toes. Sorry. Pi Feng Jun groaned how he had anticipated this. Pi Feng Jun, I can't take it any longer, Twink Yao rasped. Please, fill me with your manly wand. I need it inside me. As you wish, my love, Pi Feng Jun said, around Twink Yao's foot, and losing no moment, he took hold of his meaty stick of jade love and guided it to Twink Yao's chrysanthemum secret pleasure cave. Oh, Pi Feng Jun! Twink Yao exclaimed. Oh, ah Yao! Oh, ah Yao! Pi Feng Jun moaned. Oh, Pi Feng Jun! Twink Yao rasped, grazing lightly his nipples with his nails. He knew Pi Feng Jun liked it rough. Oh, ah Yao! I love Pi Feng Jun. I could do Pi Feng Jun forever. Oh, ah Yao! Pi Feng Jun shivered bodily from forbidden pleasures formerly unknown to him. Their ecstasy had reached the highest peak and still kept going, rising above the dome of the sky. Twink Yao could no longer control himself. Tossing his head back sexily, he stroked himself faster and faster, caressing with his foot Pi Feng Jun's face, until his smooth, toned belly was covered in the sparkling, pearlescent substance of his mystical love juice. Oh, Pi Feng Jun! He rasped, deep in the throes of a powerful orgasm. He had hardly recovered when an urgent knock on the door was heard. Pi Feng Jun! A frantic guard called from outside. The Tisan Wen have invaded the eastern gate. Your presence is required at the front. Pi Feng Jun paused, his pursuit of carnal love and connection, and made to leave. But Pi Feng Jun, you haven't finished yet, Twink Yao said in a soft voice, rolling his hips seductively and caressing Pi Feng Jun's pecs with his foot. There is no time, Pi Feng Jun said, parting from Twink Yao with one last deep kiss. Twink Yao had another orgasm. Pi Feng Jun, he said, his head tipping back, his eyes rolling back from pleasure. No man is like you. His hands moved to squeeze Bifeng Jun's stern but bulging biceps. I'll behead a few wens and then return to you, my love. Keep my bed warm for me, Bifeng Jun said, grazing lightly his side of his throat with his mustache. Yes, Bifeng Jun. Oh, he laughs. Twin Yao had another orgasm. Yes, Bifeng Jun, he managed, completely wrecked, before settling back on the silken seats, shivering. His eyes mapped out greedily Bifeng Jun's muscular glutes as he pulled up his pants. Bifeng Jun turned like this, turned his little braids turning with him, and held Twink Yao's with his own. No, and held Twink Yao's gaze with his own. They exchanged erotically charged glances, drinking down each other's face hungrily, promising with their eyes to fulfill soon their mutual lust. Then Bifeng Jun, called by his duty to the clan, finally made himself leave the room, his cape billowing very sexily behind him. Sexily. Twinkie outside and shivered some more. What a man, he said, and reached for his cultivation phone to keep himself occupied while Bifeng Jun beheaded the wens. Yubai Sang, the younger brother of Bifeng Jun, entered the bedroom. He had been much aggrieved because Twin Yao had shunned his own sexual advances. And yes, Bifeng Jun might have been very buff and manly, but at least Yubai Sang could spell some really difficult words without checking the dictionary. Twin Yao! He whimpered and fell into his arms. Can you hold me? I'm so very afraid of the Wen invasion. He wasn't really. He only wanted to take advantage of their close proximity to rub his face on Twin Yao's chest. Ugh, get off me, Twin Yao said, and moved to the window, flipping his hair. I told you before, aside from your brother, my heart belongs only to one man, the monk from the mountains. The end. Twin Yao and Bifeng Jun will return for the thrilling sequel, Kinky Havoc in Volcano Palace. Pre-order your own copy today at your local bookstore. Meng Yao scrunched up his face.